Hey, great day to you all. I hope that this morning you guys all woke up super grateful to be alive again another day in this experience. And I personally am glad that you were on the wake up list. I hope that you were just as glad to be on the wake up list. Seriously. And I hope you were able to tell yourself all the amazing things that you needed to set yourself that high vibe. What do I mean? Well, hey, tell yourself all the great things that you need to hear. You don't need somebody else to be telling you that. These are the things that you can actively do for yourself so that you can set that high vibe and breeze through no matter what may be coming your way. All right? The world is changing and evolving. It's a great time to be alive. There is such a drastic shift happening. And really, what is the drastic shift? Well, you see, the old ways of being, where it was every man for himself, can no longer exist because it's destroying the world. Okay? The primary law of the universe is oneness. So what does that mean, really? That we are all united. We're all connected. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't change the reality of it. And whether you believe that you are a spiritual being having a human experience or not, doesn't change the fact of that either. Okay? With so much knowledge accessible to us, to remain ignorant to it. So what does that truly mean? Being ignorant to it. Well, to, whatever definition it may be. But to me, when you're ignorant to something, you are ignoring facts. I choose not to remain ignorant during this grand time of change in the world. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys today a little bit if you don't really grasp the totality of perspective, perception, and your senses. We're going to talk about that today. All right? Because in all honesty, unless you put your focus on these things for a deeper meaning, well then you're keeping your blinders on. And this is the whole thing. You see how horses have blinders? Well, that was the biggest thing for me. The biggest change in my life was removing the blinders. Okay? And when you remove the blinders, trust me, what you see and your peripheral vision widens. Okay? But like everybody else, I was conditioned to put blinders on in my life until I learned that I could easily remove them as well. All right? Guys, let's talk about the senses. We all know about the senses. First of all, I want to remind you guys all that everybody is unique. Unique energy signature, unique life experience, unique perception, unique perspective. You can be like-minded and have same views or opinions on things as people, yes. But you must stay authentically true to yourself, primarily, okay? You cannot be a people pleaser in the world. You really can't. Why do we do it? Well, we do it for acceptance. We do it to be loved. We do it not to be judged. But guess what? It doesn't matter how another sees you with their unique perspective and their unique perception, because what you must understand is how another sees you is to the magnitude of who they are as an individual, their unique life experience, their unique awareness of self, their unique awareness of whether they actually know themselves or not. Then you also have to factor in, are these individuals that you're basing your life on with their opinions, are they still walking around with a mask on? Are they themselves even being authentic to them? That's why you gotta stay true to yourself, primarily, all the time. Your perspective and your perception and your senses to heighten the whole experience is unique to you. Yes, we all have these abilities, but how your body reacts to anything is uniquely yours. So, instead of worrying about how you fit in to the world and how you want to be accepted and loved by everybody, what you need to do is take a look at whether you are staying true to yourself by what? By self-acceptance, self-approval, self-validation, and self-love. All right? Because those are keys. All right? Because if you are accepting yourself and loving yourself in totality, you really are not affected by those who cannot accept you, who cannot love you, because that is not coming from you if you are projecting love. That is coming from their perspective and perception and how they sense what's going on in their unique life experience. I'm going to explain it to you a little more. Okay, so our senses. Well, we're given our senses to enhance the experience because we are meant to see, taste, touch, feel, hear what is going on in our experience. To what? To enhance the experience. All right? And we all know that when an individual lacks in one of the senses, another one is heightened. Okay? And that's just how it works. The body knows how to operate better than you do. All right? So, the senses, really, what do they do for us? Other than taste. Okay, so being all of the five senses, so your taste, your touch, your smell, your sight, and your hearing, what is that really for? Aside from the sensations that it gives us. Well, to break it down to a basic form, you know what? All these do is gather information. Okay? They gather information for you through stimuli. So, through whatever is stimulating that sense for you, it is gathering information for you. Okay? Of every magnitude. Now, what you are feeling and what you are perceiving to be your reality is uniquely yours. Uniquely yours. There's no two people that feel the same, see the same, smell the same, touch the same, and hear the same. So that's uniquely yours. How one thing tastes to one person does not taste the same to another. Why is this? Because according to how we have lived our experience. All right? So it's your life experience that is going to determine what information you are picking up according to your senses. Literally. Why do I say this? Well, because I know that I am uniquely me. There is not another Tobi on the planet like me. There may be others that are named Tobi, but there is not another Tobi like me right now here with you. Okay? Even if I was cloned, that would not be me. You see what I'm saying? I have a unique energy signature on this planet for a reason, just like every one of you do. Yeah. Let's talk about the perception of things, though. All right? And you know why I say that? Well, because your perception, it's your ability to become aware of what you're perceiving through your senses. So if it's uniquely yours of the experience of whatever you're sensing. So there's a lot more to just the five senses of what we sense. Why? Because there's energetic influence, there's things projected at us, there's others having their unique individual experience, right? But it's how you perceive what you're picking up that changes the ball game through your senses. Okay? Because in real facts, I'll drop it like this. There are things that you have stored within your being that you may have forgotten, but your soul and your body hasn't. Okay? And there is nobody on the planet that can tell you that that is not real to you. Because it is. Your body knows. And your soul knows. So, how you perceive things is through your senses. But have you ever really taken the time to put your focus on becoming aware of what you are sensing? Or are you just allowing all of these effects to not make you feel right? This is what I want you guys to notice. If you put your awareness onto the things that you are perceiving to be real from what you are sensing in your life. Big time. Because it all leads to your perspective of things. Now, what is genuinely your perspective? Well, that's your unique point of view. So, your point of view and what is real to you from what you sense in your life and what you perceive to be real affects your perspective. Now, if you are not aware, and if you have not consciously taken the time to look at what is stored within your being, so whether it's pain, trauma, shame, doubt, blame, guilt, all of these lower density vibrations, it affects your perspective of things. Why? Because when we sense things, all of this stuff stored in our being from our life experience, there are things that get triggered unconsciously, which force us to what? To react to things instead of respond, to try to rush, to just get something over with, because our heart's not really there. Can't do that either. Because then you're really not taking the time to get the most out of your experience. You see, if you're rushing through life, just trying to acquire, because that makes you believe, or you believe that that's what's going to make you feel better, it's actually not. It really isn't. So, it's really important to stay true to your own being. Why do I say this? Because uniquely you're having your own unique experience with your own sensory of things. You see things uniquely the way you do. Okay? What you feel and see and taste and smell and hear, listen, that is uniquely yours, simply to enhance your experience. And these are the little things that we forget to be grateful for, you know. Really. Because without our senses, how different would life be for you? And this is not even talking about all of the other greatness within our beings. Literally. So, everybody wants to be loved and approved of and accepted and welcomed and feel whole and feel like they have meaning in their life. But where are you getting that from? Are you getting that from external opinions? And you're getting that from not feeling loved or accepted? You see, it all stems with you. So, the same way that you're sensing everything, wow, is the same way that you fundamentally have to root self-love within yourself. You got to be accepting of yourself and who you are and where you are in your life in order to not crave that from another. Okay? You have to be self-validating. What do I mean by that? Validate your greatness. Validate that you can make anything possible. Validate that you're amazing. Validate that you're magical. Validate that you could make absolutely anything happen for yourself. No matter what. It doesn't matter what another person senses from you. It doesn't matter what another person perceives. Okay? And it doesn't matter what another's perspective of you is. What matters is what you perceive to be real for yourself within your own being. And what is your perspective of your experience and of yourself? You see, I know that what I sense is very much different than another. I'm an energy worker. I'm a light worker. That's what we do. Okay? We absorb to transmute. That's how come I can read energy the way I do. Because my sensory of energy has been magnified every time I beat death. Well, I've beat death quite a few times. And after you've beat death once and had a near-death experience once, oh, your sensory expands of the highest magnitude. While mine, my sensory of what I perceive through my senses is unlike another. It really is. But so is yours. You see? And what I can handle in my perception of things, in other words, what I become aware of through my senses, like, hey, oh, that hurt? Okay. That is also a sensory perception. Okay? But the magnitude of what I can handle is very much different than another because it has been magnified throughout my whole life. Okay? What I perceive, in other words, what do I feel and become aware of from what I am sensing is very, very different than another. Why? Because I am authentically me. I do not wear masks. I do not change no matter what the situation is. I don't change for any person, place, or thing. I am authentically me, and I stay true to myself. Now, within that, I love myself unconditionally, no matter what. And being spiritually awakened, I can honestly tell you, is what saved my life. Why? Because I personally have never felt like I fit in. I have never been accepted, loved unconditionally, motivated, or inspired by those closest to me all my life. Okay? Now, it's like I've been in training for this all my life. Because I'm not upset by that. I'm actually grateful for it all. You know why? Because living the life that I have has forced me to go within. And that was my biggest change. When you really don't like what's happening outside of you, or what your experience is, or what you are picking up on, or what you are sensing, or what you are perceiving, if you are not in harmony, and if you are not loving what you are sensing and perceiving, It will rock your perspective of things. When you start loving yourself no matter what, when I say that, well, let me break it down a little more. At first, it's very difficult to love yourself when you feel that nobody else in the world does. Okay? It is very difficult to accept yourself and validate yourself as a worthy being when you have not felt that way with family, friends, or with life. Okay? It is very difficult at the beginning. But had I not gone within, I probably would have taken myself out of the experience like I have attempted to many times. Okay? When I come out here and I preach and I talk wellness and I speak truth out here, yeah, it's normal. Do you know how difficult it is to continue to do what I do when I am mocked, judged, and ridiculed by my own immediate family? But will that stop me? No. See, this is why I tell you, you must stay true to you. And when you know better, you do better. And do not discredit or disvalidate yourself as a human being and what you are deserving of according to somebody else's perception of things and perspective of things. You cannot. It will destroy you. That's why you must stay authentically true to yourself and the things that you're sensing and the things that you are perceiving. Okay? Because perception, well, it's preception, right? So it's before we receive it into our being. That's how I see perception. Preception, right? Guys, you got to break things down for yourselves and really take a look at what has been affecting you because of the opinions and judgments of others that have nothing to do with what you believe to be right about yourself. And this is what it comes down to. It's so important. It really is. There's nothing that matters more than how you see yourself and what you perceive to be real about you. So, do you perceive and are aware of your unconscious patterns? This is the inner work. Is when you take the focus off of your results and actually dive within and take a real conscious look at what is manipulating those results. Okay? Seriously. So, you know what? This is the inner work. Okay? And yeah, anybody can do it, because everything that you perceive to be real in your life does alter your perspective. So if you believe that about yourself here, so let's put the awareness on what you believe. So let's shift and go within a little. So, what do you perceive to be real about who you are? So, what do you perceive about you? That'll be my question today. So, take a look at what you perceive through your senses about who you are. Okay? I wouldn't suggest that you taste yourself, but we all lick our fingers, right? So, hey. In actuality. So, how do you see yourself? Are you conscious of even the sound of your voice and what it's speaking when you do open your mouth and use your life force to say anything? Or are you running so automatically and just unaware that you just speak? Are you aware of your perspective on life? So how do you really genuinely see life? Because that's your point of view. So what point of view are you standing from today? Are you standing from a point of view as an individual that feels great about themselves and their life? Do you feel confident in your decision making? Or are you calling 100 different people to find out what their opinion is going to be on your next move? See, this is another thing you got to look at. Are you solid in your own being? Or are you governing all of your life decisions on the opinions of others? Because like I said before, sensing what you do, the perception of it all, and your perspective is uniquely yours. So if you are allowing anybody to be the governing force of your choices and your decisions, and their opinions affect you in any way, well, then you are also giving the allowance for everybody else to construct your life. And this is why it's so important to stand true to you and what you feel to be right as an individual, no matter what anybody is telling you, showing you, saying to you, or trying to force on you. Big time. And when you want to do something because your heart is telling you to do it, you better do it. And that has got nothing to do with another person's opinion or perception or perspective of you. You see? Are you owning being true to yourself no matter what it costs you? Because I am. And I'll tell you right now, it is costing me a lot. But that's okay, because I will pay the price of it. Because what it'll save me in the long run, see, me being a spiritual being, this is what happens. Look, I have done so much inner work and made so much changes individually as a person, and my sensory of life is magnified to an extent that I see through it all. Now, the biggest difference and change in my life recently is that I'm done playing dumb. And as an empath, you allow people to be who they are because you clearly see, because you feel the energy of everything. Their mouth could be moving, but their energy is telling you a whole different story. I'm so solid in my skin, I know what's mine and what's not. Okay? So what does that cost me? To not play dumb anymore? Well, it's cost me family, and it's cost me friends, and it's... You know what? The way I sense and perceive things through my senses, look, when I feel somebody's playing games or being shitty with me, nothing can tell me different. Because I know better. You see? And all my life, I just put up with it. I really did. I put up with it. To be a people pleaser. Why? Because they needed me. That's why. My big heart allowed me and allowed others to speak down on me, to manipulate me, to do all kinds of real fuck shit stuff, okay? And I allowed it. I allowed it. Let me just dummy down. Let me play dumb. Instead of standing up for myself, instead of confronting these people with the way that they've treated me, I let things be. Well, that's why I'm so grateful for what I just had to live in my past relationship. You know why? Because I never stood up for myself. Well, that experience was so excruciating on my heart that it caused a heart attack. Okay? But it also taught me to stand up for myself. Okay? So, yes, after learning, number one, put it this way, spiritually awakened now for 4 years, going on 5, changed my life. But after being spiritually awakened, things change. You don't perceive the world as you once did. You don't perceive people as you once did. Simple as that. Learning how to stand up for myself and standing up for what was genuinely right was the best thing I could have learned coming out of that relationship. Okay? Well, obviously it's going to cause ripples when I stand up to others that are trying to abuse and manipulate me too. But it's nothing new. You see? The way people have been treating me all my life, I let it be. Because of my big heart. So what's changed now for me I don't care what title is attached. The way one perceives me and the way one's point of view may be from where they're looking at me is of no relevance to who I am. Okay? So what's really changed for me is I have learned to stand up for myself. Literally. And a lot of people go, what, Toby? You've always stood up for yourself. No, I've always allowed a lot more than I ever should have. Literally. And I allowed people to see me in a destructive manner and have false opinions on me and judge me in ways that they should have never. Because all of that stuff does not exist within love. So somebody cannot tell you that they love and care about you, but they are shaming you, blaming you, guilting you, denying you, not accepting you, not validating you, not believing you're worthy. That's not love. So anybody claiming that they love you, but yet they are treating you badly, they are judging you, they are blaming you, they are not accepting you as an individual, they do not believe you are worth it or worthy of anything, that's not love. Love is a life force that supports us no matter what and helps us to evolve and grow, feeling loved. So if there's anybody claiming to really love you, but you know it's not love, stand up for yourself. Because you matter. Okay? And that's why I say the biggest change for me is that I've stood up for myself in my life. And I'm not going to settle for myself feeling less deserving, less worthy, less satisfied out of my experience to please anybody else. Okay? So, I don't want you guys to think that I've cut people out of my life because I'm angry and I'm blaming and I'm shaming and I'm guilting and I'm denying. No. Why have I cut even family out of my life? Because they claim to love me and prove they don't. Love is not words you say to somebody to comfort them after you manipulate them. Oh, but I love you. Okay? Because if they're making you feel less deserving, less worthy than they are, well, then they're not loving you. If they're shaming you, if they're blaming you, if they're putting you down, if they're not inspiring you, if they're not motivating you, if they're just taking from you, they are not loving you. Yeah, and it sucks when we see the difference. Yeah, and it sucks when you got to stand up for yourself because you've allowed everybody to treat you like shit in your life. Okay? Yeah, it sucks. And it feels terrible. Well, how do you change all that? You start loving and validating and accepting yourself, because when you do that, your perspective shifts. And what you sense is very much different. And what you perceive is very much different. That's why it's so important to stay true to you, no matter what the cost. And no matter what the title. See, me really knowing what love is, I finally distinguish in my life how much I have been unloved. From what? From the actions of people, no matter what their title in my life has been. Literally. The biggest difference for me now is that I will not accept anything unloving from anybody on this planet. Why? Well, because I come with a heart full of love. Now knowing what real love is for the first time in my life, after being awakened to it, to what's really fueling me, to now an overstanding of love is actually a life force, and there's nothing emotional in that, and it is an action because of the energy. So if you want to know real love, watch the actions of people. Don't listen to their soothing words to people please and tell you what you want to hear. Watch what they're doing to you. And then watch their lack of self-accountability of it all. And the excuses that they make for themselves. Well, I hope and pray that you're not making those same excuses for yourself. And you lack the self-accountability. I am now a vessel of love on this planet. Okay? So anything that I project out of me is coming with my life force of love behind it. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, does that stop me from feeling frustrated sometimes? No, I can get frustrated. But 60 to 90 seconds for a restabilization of the body. You breathe. Whew, allow it to pass. It's just to restabilize. That's the level of sensory and awareness I'm at. Life is not controlling me, and people in this life will not control me either. Understand? This is the difference. So I ask you today, is life controlling you? Are the people in your life controlling your every waking moment? Or are you doing that? Take a look at these things today. Literally. And this is why I've said it many times. I love myself unconditionally to the point that it no longer matters who is loving me back, because I am whole and content as an individual. But what I will not accept is people claiming that they love me and they do not even know the meaning of that word. Okay? Actions speak more than words. Guys, and you got to do that for yourself. Because what you sense and what you perceive through your senses affects your perspective of things. Well, my new sense of real love that fuels me and fuels this whole experience has heightened my perception of things. Literally. Which has fueled my new perspective. And what is my new perspective? Everything and all is possible. Why? Because I was made possible today. So yes, it's possible to stand up for yourself in your experience. And that's what you must do if you want to get the most out of it. Start saying no to the things and the people that don't make you feel loved, accepted, and validated. Why would you continue to allow your energy to leak there? Don't. These are the things that you need to do for yourself. And stop looking for these things outside of you. See, this is the key. Once you do that, you are going to attract others that are on the same frequency as you are. But while you're hanging on to all of the lowered vibrations and that aren't making you feel right, well, that's where you're going to stay. Stand up for yourself. And your heart's desires and your passion of life. Doesn't matter what anybody's thinking, saying, or doing. It all matters and stems down to what you're thinking, saying, and doing. Put some focus on what you are sensing. Put some focus on what is not making you feel good. Put some focus on all the people that you believe you owe something to. You don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself the best experience that you could possibly have. You know, like Bruno said yesterday, and like I've said many times, if you had to write your obituary today, and if you knew you were going to die at the end of the day, like we all do, we die every day. Going into our REM sleep, our spirit leaves. Listen, you die every day. So, if you weren't to wake up tomorrow, are you the best person that you could be for yourself today? Are you going to be remembered as somebody that was loving, caring, compassionate, and kind? Are you going to be viewed as a fucking asshole? You know, nobody else determines that but you. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your being. Stand up for the love in your heart. Stand up for your heart's desires. Stand up for your passions because they're yours. And we all have a purpose. All of us. My purpose is to make people aware of what is genuinely possible for themselves, no matter what. Well, I try to inspire you guys every day to do just that. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your birthright And what's that? To love yourself and love your experience. Literally. Stand up for that. You deserve it. That's your birthright. Life is not supposed to be shit. If it was, we wouldn't be born in a state of complete joy and bliss and unconditionally loving and not knowing separation. Okay? Stand up for your being today. You deserve to do that for you. I know I deserve that for me, no matter what I've lived. I know that I don't deserve to be treated any less than what I deserve as a human being on the planet. It's my birthright. The universe didn't wake me up again. And my soul didn't say, all right, Toby, let's go again today for no reason. So you have a reason just as I have a reason. Sometimes you can't figure out that reason because life seems to just be shit. Well, it's because you're feeling like shit. That life is shit. So, change that. Take some inspired actions to do just that. Guys, I love you all. And this is why I come out and invest the time and effort and energy into these videos. What does it do for me? Well, it gives me an outlet too. And also too, doesn't matter who comes and watches the videos. See, all of this technology and the way that it is, and everything's connected and we're all connected, as long as I'm speaking this out into the universe on a daily basis, I'm doing my job and living my purpose that the Creator has for me within this experience. I got a job to do here, and I'm well aware of it. And a part of that job, but you know, Bruno was talking yesterday about signing contracts and then what we live according to the contract. Well, that's exactly what our life experience is. Well, guess what? I'm aware of the contract I signed. And I'm aware of what I have to do on the planet. So therefore, there's not another person, place, or thing that can tell me different than what I already know to be real. All right? So that also falls down to nobody can sit there and tell me they love me but act in a different manner and I don't see it. Okay? I love. That is the truest nature of each and every one of our beings. So I am back to my truest self. That's the difference. I operate and am governed and given life by love and through love. That is who I am. Well, that's who we all are. Whether you deny it or not, that's factual too also. Guys, really take a look at these things today for you. Why? Because you matter. You really do. And stop thinking that you don't. Because you're a big part of the big plan of this whole shift in humanity, whether you believe it or not. And you play a very unique role within it all. Whether you're aware of it or not, it doesn't change the fact of it. Guys, I love you all. Get the most out of your day. Get the most out of your experience. But notice how things in your life are making you feel. Don't stay distracted from it. Don't let anybody persuade you or dilute or delude from facts. Maybe they can't be self-accountable, but do not allow yourself to be blinded by somebody else's lack of self-accountability, ever. Know who you are, stay true to yourself, and grow and evolve as a person that you're meant to be. Step into your rightful abundance. What is that? Being healthy and wealthy in all areas of your life, regardless of what you've already lived. That's power. It truly is. I'm feeling that power on a daily basis. Being authentically me and not accepting anything but what I rightfully deserve as a human being on the planet in this experience. I love you all. Get the most out of your experience because you matter the most within it. Have a great day. Love you all. Peace.